We are here at the SEGGER booth at Embedded World 2026, and one of the things here has won one of the prizes at the show. It is called emApps, and it is a slightly different approach to the way that you would create firmware for any particular device that you may be working on. Now, I don't want to start off by saying this wrong, so I'm going to hand straight over to Dirk, who's going to let us know exactly how this works, because most firmware it's one thing. You put the firmware on the device, it has access to every other part of the device, and this potentially has problems, right?
Yeah, exactly. So usually the approach with embedded systems is you have a dedicated device for a dedicated task, and with modern microcontrollers you can do a lot more, and sometimes you want to extend stuff like that, and we had in the past some device, so we create our own hardware products like the flasher and the J-Link, and with all the devices they support, at some point we ran into a limit of flash algorithms that we could implement into the actual firmware.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we needed to swap them out.
Yeah.
And there we created basically the base what's now the emApps product.
Yeah.
So we could save on the memory by basically swapping out stuff we don't use at the time and swapping out and when we need it and so on. So that's one use case right away, because that's how we came to it. Mm-hmm. But we realized that there are a lot more things that you can do with it. So just let me come first to how it works in short place. We've created Sandboxed environment by creating a virtual core that runs on the microcontroller. It is a very small executor, like 2 KB of ROM, which is a lot smaller than similar approaches. Yeah. So when we talk about Elua, we're talking about a factor of more than 10.
Yeah.
What we can do now is basically offer a small microcontroller-based system where we can add functionality after the fact and so on. To use that sensibly, we also created a mechanics that you can restrict the API usable.
Yeah.
So the executor controls which API is available, and it controls the memory. Yeah. And if the app goes out of bounds, the executor will stop it.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the sandboxing there. So the app has no influence on the main system unless it's wanted access.
Absolutely, and this is something that is actually fairly well understood in wider software, because that's one of the basic ideas behind many software APIs, is that you give the access to you give what access is needed. If you are someone who's developing specifically in one space, you don't need access to the entire stack. But of course, this is something that has typically been missing in microcontroller development. Historically, because we had very little space to work with, but also because it used to be a single stack. It used to be a full stack idea of who would be programming any microcontroller, whereas now you can give people the option to say, if this is only going to be used for these particular tasks, this virtualization layer will protect you from accidentally bricking it or changing the way that it should be working. Would that be correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so we have, for example, we have a use case if you have an OEM manufacturer. He can create products, make sure it works, and then he creates the emApps platform and defines what kind of modifications the rebranding companies can do to the device and fully sandbox that part. So the rebranding company only has to take care about a very small portion of the code, does not have to re-evaluate the full device, but only that part they are actually rebranding and stuff like that. So making the process easier, more safe. So that's
absolutely, and as you mentioned, there's one of the use cases is for OEM manufacturers who want to be able to pass things on to rebranders. Obviously, this is something that has many more use cases than that as well. But this idea of having that layer and having containerization, I'm sure, is something that would be very interesting to a lot of developers. So if they were interested in looking into emApps and maybe trying it out and seeing how it could work in something that they were going to be working with, what's the best point of entry for them to learn about it and to learn about how it could work in their own systems?
So we actually have on our webpage an area for emApps, which we are currently extending, but what we already have is, for example, an online compiler. So you can actually write apps, create them with the online compiler, download them, And then we have an executor that runs on a PC, so you can actually run the apps inside that executor.
Yeah.
Or if you want to have some hardware, you can actually use one of our flashers, connect it to a PC in MSD mode, so you can drag and drop the app on that, and then you could actually run the app inside the flasher. If you connect via terminal to the flasher, you would see the output of the app in that case.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't. I wasn't aware that you could run it on the flashes themselves. Okay, that's something that I could potentially try at home. Anyway, all of the things that we have just talked about, including the site for emApps and the online compiler, we will be linking those underneath the video. This is a really super exciting idea, and if it is something you'd like to find out more about, there'll be links under the video out to SEGGER and also to the blog post on our website about it, which will be going through everything we have talked about today. But yeah, Dirk, thank you very much for giving me your time today. Cheers.
Thank you very much.